Ooh, they always had a system. Ooh, we always gave resistance. Homestead ecosystems, general to resistance. HOLC assistance, weapons airport resistance. FHA assistance, Black Wall Street resistance. LDR new resistance, Randolph for the resistance. 1862 assistance, 1863 resistance, 1933 assistance, 1931 resistance, 1931 resistance, 1921 resistance, 1939 assistance, 1941 resistance. 1800s, free blacks inspiration. 1800s, free men aspiration. No, 1900s, Jim Crow Negroes rules. 1900s, no more black and beautiful. Homestead assistance, general order resistance, HOLC assistance, Robbins Airport resistance, FHA assistance.
Computer froze. Give me a second. You dig?
'62 assistance, 1863 resistance, 1933 assistance, 1931 resistance, 1935 resistance, 1921 resistance, 1939 resistance, 1941 resistance. 1800s, free blacks inspiration. 1800s, free men aspiration. No, 1900s, Jim Crow Negroes rule. 1900s, no black and beautiful. Homestead ecosystem, general order resistance, HOLC assistance, Robbins Airport resistance, FHA assistance, Black Wall Street resistance, FDR New Deal assistance, Randolph for the resistance. We always had a system. We were resistant. We always had a system. We always were resistant.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Let me see the audio. Grand Rising. Yeah, the audio is good. Sleep Bay early in the super chat with the lineage love. Thank you. $9.99. Appreciate it, brother. So the question is, let me make a poll now. The question is Drake, I gotta make two polls. Let me ask if you can librarians select FBA. Shalom, shalom, BSB. So the first question is going to be, can Liberians collect FBA money? So that's the first poll question, right? And let's get it. Without further delay, Revenue is calling in to Reek Nasheed podcast to okay, so Revenue is calling in to grill Tyreek on Drake being FBA. Check it out, family. There's a poll. The poll is, can Liberians collect FBA reparations? In other words, can they say, hey, we've been harmed as well, cut the check for us?
What's up, Jamaican Tether? Let's hear from the lying Jamaican Tether Revenue. The lying Tether. So you got three lies. All right, we gotta temple your lies. You only get three lies. All right.
Hey, what's up, Tariq?
All right, three lie. You got a 3-lie minimum. You any more than 3 lies, you out of here. All right, let's go ahead. What's your first lie?
Hey, I wanted to ask you: is Kyrie Irving a foundational Black American?
The foundational Black American, and he was born in Australia while his dad was playing basketball, and then they brought him back over here at 2 years old.
So how is he a foundational Black American, but according to you, Drake and Westmore is not?
Because
Like, how does that make sense?
of logic, sir. He never,
I thought it was a
it
lineage.
is a lineage.
So if it's a lineage, it shouldn't matter what country you're in. If you got lineage to foundational Black American, it shouldn't be a lineage.
Yeah, but you got to be a citizen too. You understand? Lineage and land, that's kind of common sense.
Oh, so you're taking the Nazi slogan, the
Look, a white
what's-
man. Oh, hell, if a white couple went to Japan and had a baby in Japan while they were on work visa, whatever, that baby's going to be American. The baby's not going to be Japanese because they're going to come back. They're just on a work visa. They come back when the baby's 2 years old. That baby's still a white American.
so Drake, who was born in
Right.
Canada and which is America,
No, it's not.
which is which is North America. It's a part of the North American
No,
continent.
we're not.
He's not foundational Black American.
Lie one. Lie one. That's one lie. Okay. Then you tried to clean your lie up. All right. Lie up. All right.
All right. So family, you see, we can't have an honest conversation with each other. Like, so Canada is America. Oh, North America. Come on. Yeah, we're speaking, when we say America is foundation of Black America, we're saying the United States of America, bro. We ain't got to do all that. We just say America, man. But he's being disingenuous, and this is why Tariq had to give him the 3 lie minimum, or the 3 lie maximum, I should say.
Right. Lie one. We're not going to do that, but two more lies. Canada is not America. Canada is not America. It's a separate country. Don't try to say North America. No, no, no. Canada, own country.
But according to you on the official FBA website, you said
Canada is its own country. Canada is a foreign country. That's why people would go to Canada to escape the draft back in the day. It's a foreign country, right?
right, but if it's a lineage, according to you and according to the official FBA website, you just need one parent to be a foundational Black American to be an FBA, right?
Yeah, but you still be of the land. You have to be from the damn land, sir.
So now you're moving the goalposts to what
No,
qualifies a foundational Black American.
just a citizen, period. Do you know that? Forget about foundational Black Americans, just a citizen. You understand? If you got to fill out special paperwork for you to become a
For one, this is what I mean. Like, when we have these disingenuous conversations, these tethers, you got to just remind them, hey, man, everything we're doing is pretty much new. Nothing is set in stone. The ink ain't dried. Like, this is the position right now, but it's subject to change when greater information come about, when superior logic and reasoning come about. We're subjected to add, we are allowed to amend it. Like, it ain't just this and that's forever. No. So whatever's on his websites are created to be updated. Like that. Nothing set in stone. A website, you can easily go back, edit, omit, take out, add. Like, but again, tether logic is no, you said it and that's it. That's the law, man. That's the law.
citizen, you're not really of the lineage.
So what you think Kyrie Irving did?
He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to.
He was born in Australia.
And the family was on a work release. They were on like a work program. They were on a work program. He wasn't an Australian.
So maybe you should update your website that you
because we're
own.
using common sense, sir. Just like the military. Some people will be like, well, the military, that's still an extension of the U.S. government, a military base. That's an extension of the U.S. government. That's just citizenship. That's how citizenship works, sir.
So Kyrie Irving, who was born in Australia, a foreign
Uh-huh.
country,
To found
he's a foundational Black American. But Drake, who's born in Canada,
to two foundational Black American parents while they were
yeah, but you said on the website you just need one.
okay. You acting dumb and repeating the same dumb question over and over. That's not going to change it.
No, I'm just trying to get
No, you're
clarification.
acting dumb, which is what tethers do. You're not dumb. You know how citizenship works.
Yeah, I'm a citizen of I'm a 14th Amendment citizen like you.
But
We brothers. We 14th Amendment
really,
citizens.
are you playing dumb? You keep talking. This is how citizenship work, period. Kyrie Irving didn't have to file immigration papers and stuff like that to get back over here. He didn't have to,
But we're talking about a lineage. We're not talking. You said it's a lineage. It's not a jurisdiction, or you have to be a citizen of America. You said on the website
that's
you have to have at least
that's a
one.
given.
We want to shout out some more lineage love in the building. Maxwell Jenkins, $5 super chat. B1 peace and certified salute. Definitely. I'm gonna let this play out a little bit, then I'm gonna give the Grand Rising roll call. You know how I do the lineage roll call. The Grand Rising lineage roll call in a second.
If you're a foundational Black American, it's a given that you have to be of the land. That's a given. You don't, certain things you don't really have to explain to unless they're 2 years old. Now, if you got the mindset of a 2-year-old and I got to sit you down and explain, well, listen, revenue, where there's a place called America and there's something called the 14th Amendment. Okay. Do you want to cook in some juice while I explain it to you? And
Right, but you also said Denmark VC is a foundational Black American. He doesn't have no foundational Black American parents. He's born in St. Thomas.
but he was here at the development of the United States. You see how that works?
Also, is you have different criterias what meet the standards of a foundational Black Americans now? Because I thought on the official website you just have to have one parent
Denmark,
that's an FBA.
Denmark Vesey was a slave. All slaves are foundational. That's a given. If you were a slave, no matter where they got you from, if you were indigenous, if you were brought over from somewhere, you became foundational. You were building the bricks and the wealth of this country.
So what make Westmore a tether if he has a foundational Black American that goes back to the Revolutionary War? You called him a tether
Yeah.
plenty of times.
Because he
But he's an FBA according to your rhetoric and your criteria on your official FBA website. So what separates him from Kyrie Irving? And he was born in America. He has ancestry going back to the Revolutionary
what
War.
he says, I don't know how accurate that is. One, I don't know how.
You could check it. You could do your own research. You could check it out.
I,
He's a part of the organization called the Sons of the Revolutionary
what
War.
else?
He could prove his.
Yeah, we definitely can't take these guys on face value. You see what happened to the guy yesterday, Mr. USA, BSIA. That didn't work out too well for him. He started off with a bad source, and I hope he calls in today. I'm going to hit up one of his videos, comment, yo, pull up. Not now. After we leave the whole Drake identity thing, identity crisis, we're going to touch on Black.
Ancestors.
What else does it say on the FBA website since you're reading it? What did it say about people with dual allegiances? Read that since you read that because you're probably on the site now. Read that.
Let me check it. Let me check it out.
Get on.
Let me.
Yeah, get on there.
Okay, let's scroll down to your website. How are you not the leader? Found if you got the website, you own the trademark, you own Majora. But let's see what qualifies according to you. A foundation of a
Yeah,
found.
I'm still not the leader, no matter how you try to pull it, tug it, lie. That's lie two. Got it? Got one more lie. Yeah, just because you lying, that don't make me the leader. I'm an advocate for our lineage. I ain't the leader. I'm an advocate for it. But go ahead. Now, what does it say about dual allegiances? Go ahead. Go ahead, Revenue. Unmute your microphone.
Okay, I'm on the website now. Which paragraph is it? Is it where it says how does a person trace their lineage back to American slavery?
Now, why are you confused now? You kept mentioning the damn website, and now you confused. I'm not looking at it right.
Oh, okay. If a person classified as black who has one parent from an immigrant background and another parent who can trace their American slave plantation, then you are considered a foundational black American
Right,
still. This is your website.
right. Keep
So that wouldn't that
keep
make Westmore a foundational black American?
keep reading.
As you keep reading, let me read Pinky Wells' comment. It was said, she said, doesn't matter if Drake's FBA or not at this moment. What is FBA getting that he can't get? And no reparations if we won't delineate from the other 61 groups of black in America. I don't understand what that comment even means. That's why I'm going to provide the link and phone number where you guys can call in and articulate yourself. But that don't make any sense to me. For one, yesterday I said repeatedly over and over and over, I said Drake with an S. So I appreciate the comment, but you guys got to have an ear to listen. Yesterday, I said Drake with a S. I made it plural. Why did I do that? Because I'm saying there's many people in a Drake position. So it's bigger than Drake. So this is for anybody, because she's not the only one who said something like that. Many people said something similar. So again, it's the many people who are in a Drake position. We're answering for all of them, not just Drake. I hope we can comprehend that. It ain't about Drake solely. We're using him because he's popular, Pinky. He's very well known nationally, internationally. So we're talking about the people who are in his position, and we're using him as the case in point scenario. Okay. So if anybody has a similar position as Drake, what we conclude might be your fate as well. So if the conclusion is yes, then that's possibly your fate. If the conclusion is no reparations, then that's possibly your fate as well. So all conversations matter. So now what I don't like is when people try to dictate what matters and what don't matter. So what only matters is what you talk about. Like, no, this is a podcast. We're going to talk about a lot of things, especially trending things. Drake nationality, his identity was trending. We talk about trending things. This is called FBA News and Updates. Okay. So I update on trending topics. And no reparations if we won't delineate from the other. That's your opinion. And so it's funny how we're saying it doesn't matter about Drake, but then they give their opinion. Well, we won't delineate unless we leave. No, that's your opinion. See how a conversation works? So all conversation is acceptable. So I'm not going to tell you guys it doesn't matter what you talk about. No, I listen to you guys' argument. And if it's an interest to me, I will bring it up in the on the live platform. If it doesn't, then I just move on. But I'm not going to tell you guys what doesn't matter that matter to you. Whatever matters to you matters. Yeah. So I appreciate the comment. It gave me a opportunity to explain to everybody who might feel the same way. Drake with an S. The people who are in his position, we're using him because he's popular. The people who are in his position are not popular, and we would never know their position. So this was actually a decent question from the original guy who called into Rick Nashi show. This was a decent question. All right.
This week, we're hosting a free trading and investing workshop
Even the dude, Mr. USA, the whole black thing,
right here in Ridgefield Park.
I think that was a great conversation starter. I don't think he's totally tripping. I think he's wrong, but I believe that was a great conversation starter. Are we just American? Or are we black and American? And is black and American contradictory? I think that's a good conversation. I think he's wrong. I'm gonna prove he's wrong again today. But that was a decent conversation. That wasn't time wasting.
There is a very important caveat with this designation. A FBA individual whose non-FBA parental lineage comes from a person who immigrated to the United States after 1970 should not be considered or looked upon as a representative or spokesperson for serious political,
Boom,
social, economical.
boom. There it is. That ain't our representative because he has dual allegiances. That's why a lot of Native American tribes have the same ideology. If you
I,
both of your bloodlines ain't from the lineage, you can't be a chief because you're going to have torn allegiances. That's how I feel about that nigga.
how does he have dual allegiance if he's a American citizen? His ancestors go back to the Revolutionary War, which most Black Americans can't even go back to the Revolutionary
That's a
War.
lie.
How is he a tether?
Yes, we can. What the hell are you talking about? Yes, we can. We can trace our shit back to I traced mine before the Revolutionary War. So what you talking about? Don't project your lack of lineage documentation onto us. You can't trace nothing back. They ain't got no good paperwork in Jamaica. And you bounce, so you ain't never gonna get access to no paperwork. So don't project that onto us. We know how to trace our stuff back. But yeah, you answered the question. Because he has dual allegiance to
Who do you have dual allegiance to?
Caribbean. He identifies as Caribbean. He's always talking about he's Caribbean, his Caribbean side, and he's always doing stuff for Caribbean immigrants. He don't do shit for us. In fact, he crashed our reparations out. That's why that nigga should not be our representative at all.
So he has dual allegiance to the whole entire Caribbean. Does that even make sense to read?
Acting dumb. You
A rep
acting
a,
dumb.
a
You're
dep
acting dumb. Okay, you're acting dumb, and that's not going to change the fact. Now that you're acting dumb, that means you don't have no retort. And thank you very much. All right, we're gonna move on. So when you start debunking these tethers, they love acting dumb. So what he got dual allegiance to the whole Caribbean and shit? Okay. I'm not about to even entertain you acting dumb. You dumb, but you ain't that dumb. All right, the prototype. What's up, dear?
Hello, everybody. I'm going to be very, very brief. For this revenue Shane guy, you already explained to him about the FBA side. Now, I am so sick and tired of trying to explain to these musty ass people about Drake. When it comes to Judaism, they want to bring up something about the Bible. Those folks don't care anything about a Bible, okay? They have their own religious text that they follow. Being Jewish is matrilineal. That goes through your mother. It doesn't matter if he has an FBA father. So, according to their law, you are what your mother is. So, even if he was born in his bitch, he is still Jewish. His grandfather is Jewish. All of those folks are Jewish. His dad, like I posted years ago, was known as the grandfather of AIDS in South Africa, to the point where um, his name is something sure. And when Drake decided to make a club, he called it the Sure Club. That's how much Mr. Degrassi loves his lineage. All he does is go from place to place cosplaying because he has no connection to what it is to be us. And I'm gonna leave that alone. And I'm maybe we can just let that die.
Mm,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you, beloved. Thank you, dear. But yeah, these folks play dumb when it comes to the whole Drake thing. That's dumb. Look, FBA is a lineage. It's lineage and is the cultural development. That's a given. You know, being a foundational Black American, it's about nationality. You understand? You being born and raised within this unique inherited experience of Black America and being a descendant of the freedmen. Yeah, even though Drake's father is a foundational Black American, Drake was born and raised and culturally socialized in Canada. Is that he's Canadian? He's a proud Canadian. You go Google Drake, there's a Canadian rapper. Yeah. If you are a Canadian rapper, by definition, by logic, you're not foundational to America. You left, your lineage left for whatever reason. It left and stayed. That's not the same as somebody being born on a work visa or something. That's not the same. That's not the same. You like Kyrie Irving. You can try to find an outlier, but that's not. Kyrie Irving wasn't raised in Australian society. You understand? He's not an Australian at all. He had two foundational Black American parents who was working, and they had him while they were out working, and they immediately brought him back over here where he was raised and in his culture. Yeah. You see, being a foundational Black American, that means you had a unique ethnogenesis and you're tied to United States soil. It's an ethnic identity that comes from our culture here. You're being raised in that culture. Yeah. And Drake, and I like Drake. I'm not beating up on Drake. I'm not disparaging Drake whatsoever. I like Drake. I like Drake's music. I like Drake for what he does. He's a pop rapper, and that's fine. Drake identifies culturally as Canadian and Jewish. Drake has openly embraced his Canadian identity. That man had a whole bar mitzvah, all right? And Drake has never centered himself in any type of cultural FBA struggle at all. And that's fine. It's not his culture. So yeah, them trying to pretend that, his dad's roots make him a representative of foundational Black American culture, that's just Tethers playing dumb. Yeah. That's just like they always say that we have, you FBA niggas, you have Nigerian DNA. Okay. But we're not Nigerian citizens. Yeah. They claim we have all of this African this and African DNA that. We ain't citizens nowhere over there. We can't go over there. We ain't no citizens over there. Are we? Either we are or we not. We're not. Good. Let's stop playing dumb. See, a lot of these people, they want to play dumb because, see, they want access to foundational Black American gains. See, when we start talking about lineage-based justice, reparations, cultural credit, political recognition, suddenly the tethers, they all confused about what FBA means. Now they're confused. Now, these people are very aware when we are Akatas, they know who the fuck we are when we're an Akata. When we are Yankee and when we are lazy nigga, when we are hood rat, dusty nigga, when it's all types of pejorative terms, they know exactly who we are. When we are Jareers and beads and all of these derogatory names, they know exactly who they're talking to. They know who we are when it's negative. Stay away from the Akata niggas when you get, they know who to stay away from and who to tell their kids to stay away from. You're very, very, very focused and clear on us when it's time to stay away from us or demonize us, to distance yourselves from us. Now, when we're saying, hey, we're identifying ourselves on our own terms, wait, now if a was born on the moon to an FBA mother and a Ghanaian father, is that a Martian or is he FBA? Got you. It's okay. Weird wannabe gotchas. Stop it.
I told you everything is about a gotcha. It's about a gotcha. See, but like you may gotcha other people, but you'll never gotcha me. You know why? Because I don't mind being corrected. I don't mind changing my mind. So whatever I thought wasn't true today, I might, with better research, updated information, yeah, I might say it is true today. You feel me? So whatever standard I gave on Drake, uh, September 2nd, when I spoke to Reverend, I'm gonna play next. The gotcha moment. Whatever I thought, and when I followed up with greater research, like I did, I'm going to expose today. I'm more well informed on Drake's status, FBA or Canadian. See, so for me, I don't have an issue or ego to say, I don't know. Good question. Let me look it up later. Like I don't always have to have an answer right now. Okay, that's called integrity. I think I can get an answer, but I don't always got to have an answer at this moment. I'll look it up at this moment, but if it gets too fuzzy, I'll get back to you. But just know this, when you get that invitation back on here, you're done. Okay, just know that. So that's for Mr. USA, BSIA, whatever. If you're in the chat, if anybody can get hold of them, let them know. After I do this Drake stuff about, let's say about 11:30 or 12, I'm going to be looking for him to call back in about this black stuff. We're not black and American. All that foolishness. I had time. So that's all I'm going to say. So you are invited back over here.
This bad faith ass outrage from these tethers. You know, good and well, Drake ain't no damn FBA. Yeah? Y'all know good and well. But cats want to try to center themselves by acting dumb. That's them trying to clout chase by acting dumb so that we can just interact with their asses. That's a lonely tether syndrome. They just need us to interact with them, and they play dumb. That's the way to get us to interact with their asses.
Stop letting them increase your rates. I used to let them raise my car insurance every year until I found this.
You know, look, Foundational Black American, that's not up for redefinition by outsiders. You outsiders, y'all can't define.
Okay, I got these ads. I'm on the wrong account. Give me a second to switch my account to my premium account. I can't keep doing this switch ad thing all day. Hold on. Yeah, but as I always say, people just can't call in my podcast, Jason Black, whoever, with an honest position. Old boy yesterday, his mind is already made up. We're not black, we're just American, right? So he's going to research like that, and that's why he gets cooked in real time. That's not how I research, family. I don't have a thought and then research to prove the thought right. I just research. And wherever the research direct me, that's my conclusion. I'm a little different. That's why my research usually is more thorough than the next person, because I don't have a particular stance where it has to be that. I might have a stance. The research could say, hey, I'm biased. That's wrong. And guess what? I'm bailing from that. Like, I'm out of there. I won't stand on it. So sometimes I do have a thought, and I think it's true. But when the research says it's bullshit, I normally get out of there. You dig? So that's a true researcher. Like, I let the research dictate how I think about things.
By outsiders. You outsiders, y'all can't define what our lineage is. Logic defines our lineage. Yeah? And we have a right to define our lineage and decide who's going to be spokespersons for the lineage. And the damn sure ain't no Westmore. Yeah. The people who's already shown that they have more of an allegiance with their Caribbean side, if they even do have an FBA side, because people are lying now. You got a lot of people cosplaying as foundational Black Americans. Have y'all been seeing that lately? We've been seeing that heavy. A lot of people have been trying to cosplay as us. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Let me see. Let's get some more people in here. But we're in here deep. We're in here deep. Let's get RJ in here. Let's get Mr. RJ. Let's hear some whatever Democrat shillery he has. What's going on, RJ? How do you feel about Trump? I know you're gonna come in and talk about Trump, which I don't care. But go ahead. What's going on?
Well, suddenly you don't care when he's crashing everything. But anyway, first off, we gotta say happy birthday to the king of pop. And
Okay. Did you see the video with me and Tariq with is Drake a foundational Black American?
Yeah, I was going to play that, but I just didn't have time. Yeah.
Okay. What's your thought? Do you think that Drake is a foundational Black American?
No, I would call Drake what he called himself. He says he's Canadian. Who am I to say no, you're foundation Black American. He says he's a Canadian. He's Canadian.
Right. So doesn't the lineage supersede with you know, like you know, you say it doesn't matter if somebody believes they're Indian or Moor or Hebrew Israelite, they're still FBA or Pan-African, whatever.
Well, that's a little different because I heard you and Tariq. That was probably the best you ever did, by the way. Like that was the honest you ever been. You finally asked some good questions. Those are good questions. But I think you just found a gray area in this whole thing. And when I was listening to it, I'm like, you know what? That just gotta be worked out. But like Tariq said, most of us don't have that problem. So yeah, the exception is the people who's in that condition, yeah, they're gonna have a rough time. And that's why we try to say, hey, they within your lineage, so and your citizenship, so you ain't gotta worry about shit like that. But yeah, that I think there's a lot of curves and turns in there. Yeah, part of the audio, I was walking on the phone talking to Tether Revenue, so just part in the audio, which is kind of hard to like define. I don't think we really sat down and thought about it to that in depth with that situation.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is I didn't realize till after that Drake actually has, you know, U.S. citizenship by way of his father. He has birthright citizenship. So that's something I didn't even know.
Yeah, so for me to like even look into that, I gotta check out, like, both of y'all know more than me as far as Drake background. So I would have to like really come on, let's get water. You wanted a damn donut instead of real food. Yeah, so both of you know more than me as far as Drake background and his citizenship. You know, I don't know much about it. I would have to like look into it before I give you any thoughts on that.
Okay.
I would definitely like to say something about Drake.
Okay, good.
You want me to chime in, bro?
Yeah, but I think he wanted to be on the topic though. You can say what you want to say.
Right.
Just be short, just laying things quickly, but I think he wanted to focus on his question.
Right. He's gonna finish. Yeah, because I saw some more stuff about Drake. Yeah, because I've been seeing some things about Drake, and I just want to say this about him. Well, of course, Drake's father is from here, and you know, he's from Memphis and things like that right there. But he was did most of everything he done was in Canada. Drake was already coming from money. His family had money. Had Drake ever wanted to be FBA like that, him and his family would have been that before he started to like go into hip hop. Once he got into hip hop and started to get around people in hip hop, started to come to America and really accept that, because his father had many problems with him over the years. He had a lot of problems with his father over the years. He didn't speak to his father for years. And one of the reasons he didn't speak to his father for years is because he was in Canada. He embraced that. His mother turned him against them. His family had money on both sides. So he was not being groomed like that. He was being groomed most of his Jewish nature. He was being that way as a Jew. That's the way he was growing up. When he came to America, which is what all tethers do, in order for you to pop, in order for you to understand who you are, you have to come to America. So that lineage that he's getting is always got like a double thing, because that's what tethers are. You have to have something to tether onto to have an understanding of it. He, whether his lineage was first, he was already dealing with a dual citizenship. Anytime you deal with a dual citizenship, which is confusing to a certain degree, the father must come in. The father was excommunicated a lot of times, which is what happens in America. So what Drake is doing is being an opportunist, and just like a lot of people do. We was talking about that earlier on. Drake, his influence is more about trying to be an outsider. He got accepted into FBA when he came in, and he started to deal with the people here. He started to really deal with that culture, but they always got their own countries to fall back on. We're dealing with that right now. He just happens to be somebody that got sideways with the lineage right now. But they're not really coming after him like that right there. He's having an issue of who he is. That's a conflict of interest. See, that's why the lineage comes in, because it gets rid of the conflict of interest. And if he accepts the lineage, then he would never come after us. See, because that's why we have us here. A lineage is to delineate from foolishness. So that means you got to accept us and what we do and how we doing it, and Canada comes somewhere down the line. They will never, ever be able to put Canada over us, but he's doing that. So that's the difference in between what lineage means and what lineage does. If you're an opt to your own lineage, they put you out the house. You can't go after your own father in his own house. You can't go after your own job when you're in their house. You can't go after the bank when you work there. So if you know what the real deal is and what it is and what's real, then you stick to that which is real. And he's dealing with something that's foreign, which he is a foreigner. He could accept his own and be himself, but he cannot, because money is over everything with him. We are lineage. He will never have that kind of thing. What you have to do is surrender and come home. That's what lineage means. That's what delineation means. It means surrender and come home and accept your own. But if you can't accept your own, then we got a railroad for you. And you'll never find that railroad, because it's always going to be underground. That's why he'll always be overground, which is Pop. But if he wants to come home, we'll have an open door for him, but you got to surrender, because it's going down in America. That's it.
Yeah, but if Drake is a U.S. citizen and he has his father is an FBA, FBA, wouldn't that make him FBA too? If he's a U.S. citizen and his father is a FBA.
Well, bro, it's like this. You can be whatever you want to be, right? In America, they say be all you can be. You can be all you can be in the army. If you
and he was going to Memphis every summer to his
okay, right. I get it. Right, but we have to deal with the facts on the ground, right? It's what you are. If you got a father that lives somewhere else and you've been raised by your mother doing a whole lot of things, your lineage may be intact, but it's what you accept. You think a lot of people are not confused about who they are? See, delineation, it will do something about your confusion. It clears up the confusion. Is he accepting FBA? See, because to understand FBA means that you got to surrender to America. See, he want to have it both ways. So if you want to have it both ways, you want to serve two gods, right? 69 God or 6 God or whatever you want to do. Look, bro, you're going to serve one and you're going to hate the other. And when I say hate, I don't mean hate in a term of that it's going to, that you have a feeling towards it. It's just that, see, this dude turned himself into an op. Just imagine if your son did that to you. Is he still you? People get thrown out of the family for stuff like that, bro. So he still have an opportunity to come home. That's why they got the prodigal son. Look, if you want love and you want understanding, then where you gonna get it from? If you love your father and your father hates where he's from, then what happens is you're gonna bring a war. See, a lineage is not. Look, this is not a. People keep thinking this lineage thing is a group. This is not a group. This is not an organization. An organization that you can join. If he loved America, he loved our lineage, then he wouldn't be in this pot. He wouldn't have these issues. He wouldn't have these issues. He could stop this stuff today. This dude is in court. Like, look, you know how many people went to court to become white? All of them, Spanish, Chinese, and all that. But do they love America? You want to check them out or not? See, a lot of people want to be this dual citizenship. I kept telling you, I gave you the facts. You love one or you hate the other. That's why people look at. That's why they don't want us to be American. See, we got a lot of issues with that right now. See, they don't even want us to be American. But the delineation delineates us to where we supposed to be. We're not delineating from our country. We delineate from the foolishness. Because our lineage and our bloodline is the one thing. If his dad was more important about that, he can't really get into it. That's his son. His son. So you know how we are about our children, bro. It's hard to really deal with stuff when you got children. Look, hey, bro, the lineage
can I ask you a question? Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Asada Shakur, is she FBA?
Who?
Asada Shakur.
You talking about the girl that was running out there about Israel?
No, Asada Shakur, Tupac aunt that
Yeah,
broke
but
out
hold
of
on.
prison and
Before we shift gears there, because I heard like a lot of the Kyrie and all that type of stuff. So before we get out of Drake too fast, okay. So again, Drake would be in the gray area. So there wouldn't be no yes or no. That will be worked out. So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of questions when they were trying to determine who gets reparations, and we start talking about lineage, that type of stuff. Even at the beginning of trying to figure out how to be determined who qualifies, even the 1870 census, all type of stuff, there was gray areas even then. And I remember Yvette and around their think tank was saying, okay, right, well, they just gonna be on hold, right, until we figure that out. But that's like tickets to like a carnival or an event. Like if your ticket is like kind of crazy looking where you can't really, or they can't scan it with their phone, they're gonna put you as outside the line, to get the line going. So unfortunately, for those people, and it's not a lot of people, but there are some. But until this is worked out, even Turkey, she was asked that same question and kind of concluded the same thing. Like, yeah, well, shit. Unfortunately, it's gonna be on hold until everybody's, they're gonna be on hold, and the line would just keep moving, right? So he has a unique situation where it's kind of arguments favor his position and the arguments can go against it. So it's really going to come down to like anything else, like voting, or that's what it's going to come down to. Like people are going to vote something in, stand on it, and that becomes standard. So Drake will be in the gray area, and people like him will be in gray areas.
right.
I agree. Yeah, you have to surrender, bro. You have to surrender to the lineage.
I respect that answer.
That's all. That's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not an attack.
Wait, hold on.
Because
wait, so now, wait, hold on, my brother. So he says Asada Shakur. Okay, so really, she's FBA. She was born here. As far as I know, FBA parents. Yeah, I don't know why she would be in question.
Because I know that she gave up her U.S. citizenship to go to Cuba. So I was just wondering, like, political prisoners
she's still. Yeah, she's. To answer your question, as far as I know, she's still old. It's like, what does that got to? She was old before she left. That's like somebody going to prison. And they're old. Yeah, I don't know why she wouldn't be qualified.
Because when I spoke to Tariq, he kind of said you got to be a U.S. citizen and have blood, have FBA ancestry, kind of like like the Nazi slogan, blood and soil.
I heard that bad analogy. Wait, hold on, brother, hold on, because I don't want to be long-winded. I just want to have a conversation where it's a couple words and you stop and no. Right now we just dialoguing, right? So
yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So now, as far as that, kind of lost my train of thought. So you said lastly you said the Nazi thing was a bad analogy. Like now you know better. So compare. See, and that's when people like start to dismiss you from the panel because you that's the worst thing you want to do is compare anybody to Nuremberg laws or Nazi Germany. Like that's just a bad faith everything at that point. It's like nobody wants to be compared to Hitler or anything affiliated with him. So when you do that, you're purposely being disrespectful and trolling. Even though I don't take offense, I'm just saying like I know how people take that when you compare anything they do to Hitler. Anybody in the world, unless they are Hitler or is on that type of shit, they're gonna take offense to that. So anyways, stop doing that. That's bad faith. All right.
Yeah.
So see, I kind of lost my train of thought when brothers started talking. So what'd you say before that? You said what'd you say before that? I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
brother interrupted.
Because Tariq said you have to have ancestry.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. And now I remember. I got you. Now I remember. So you spoke to Tariq. I got you.
So I'm asking.
Yeah. Now we're moving on. All right, I got you. Let's go for it. Right. So you spoke to Tariq Nasheed, right?
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we've been trying to tell you as. Nobody's the leader. People can have an idea and it's worthy of entertaining, You put that like a job. You put your suggestion in the suggestion box. So that's something to like. So everything he says, wait, oh, you ask for an answer. Let's get the answer. Just like politicians and bills.
That wasn't me.
Okay.
That was your boy.
My fault. Not my fault. So just like, 'cause I'm used to people just cutting in. So like bills with politicians. When they put together a bill, some type of legislation, it's like picture perfect the way that person seen it, that legislator or politician seen it. This is perfect. But then to get it passed, other folks in that same party could say, nah, this won't get passed like this. And then they try to like critique it and omit and add to make it more favorable for the next party that got to pass it, right? Or Congress, they'll do that. So same thing with us. If somebody who's instrumental in opinions and make a little sense, those get thrown in there in that suggestion box, something to look at, something to vote on, or something to critique and take in, take out. So all these unique things, that would just be one of those. Like, okay, how do we look at this one? Then we'll come to the table, FBAs, no non-FBAs, come to the table, and we'll look at these unique situations that's far in between, right? That's not the case really for most people. I'm sure maybe 10 people, others got something similar, but that's one of those things. But yeah, so we will, as long as the questions come about these things, we'll say, you know what? Yeah, let's look more into that. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about that one, because most of us are not in that position. So we kind of think just for ourselves. Like, hey, I'm good, so I ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, there's somebody out there in that position. Yeah. So I wonder how many more. Okay, let's compare notes. Think tank on this, brainstorm and come up with something. That's all.
Okay, I would just ask Tariq because I thought he was, one of the authorities on the matter.
But that's what you keep thinking, right? And that's your problem. Like the brain cells, y'all smoke too much. Y'all drink too much scissor out there in Nigeria. That K2 shit going crazy right now. Y'all gotta stop thinking and holding people in positions. You just heard me and the Holy FBA Codex disagree on Malcolm X. All right, how are we supposed to view him, bro? We're all different. And guess what?
Yeah.
And then I laid down my reasons. He's like, oh, all right. He bent a little bit, but then he stood strong. Like, yeah, but over here. And then I bent a little bit. So that's how conversations go. Nobody's a leader, like, and nobody's opinion. Like, now people are more influential, but if I had something to say, wait. Isn't me? Look, this is Tether I'm telling him, and Tariq told him, and we're all telling him, but he still wants to, bro, you can't debate or win an argument or even have a controversial discussion, none of y'all, without making him the leader or some authoritarian person. Y'all can't have an honest discussion where he's not in that position, because everything just falls apart. So you guys need him to be this powerful figure that can literally make me buy his flag. I don't have his flag, bro. It's not in my house.
Ron, right, can I ask you a question?
Wait, before you do that, now I'm gonna talk through you to the chat. I don't, and none of us agree with everything he says. People don't agree with everything I say. All right, they'll take some things, I like that. Other things, Ron tripping. Tariq Nasheed, some things he say, I like that. Other things, Tariq tripping. SLE44. Some things I like, some things he's tripping. Right, and the tripping part is on hold. We'll debate that later. But for us, that's not important right now. What's important is what we have in common, and we're galvanizing on what we have in common. Y'all should take notes. Go ahead. Next question.
But can I have my own opinion? And
sure.
Based on ChatGPT also calls Tariq Nasheed the leader of FBA.
Okay.
Okay, I don't agree with everything from ChatGPT, but that's kind of the consensus now.
Well, okay, cool. And I'm so the next time you do that, I'm gonna throw you off. That's just it. Okay. I don't know how you worded it to them, but bro, nobody can put themselves in position to be my leader if I disagree. All right, that's just comment. I don't know how we're gonna. So if you keep doing it, I'm just gonna bounce you, and that's okay. But yeah, once you make somebody my leader, when I'm vehemently, adamantly saying they're not my leader, and you're saying they're my leader, at that point, there's nothing to talk about, right? We can't get past that, so we got to part ways. I don't got to cuss you out, call you each other. It's like, yo, now you're just you again. Y'all need that to be the case. You can't fuck with us without that narrative. Everything falls apart. So you need him to be the leader. So now, once he's a leader or in a position of leadership, now all the things that he does that's silly and goofy. Oh, look at this! Look at that! Oh, look at he made a thumbnail with this guy with the big eyes. See that you're gonna go there next, but y'all gotta first establish he's the leader. Like you're having a serious conversation, and once that is proven or you establish that, now you'll go to all the jokes and stuff that he ever done.
All right, so let's. I think that's enough. Yesterday we heard a caller call in. The first caller asked Nasheed about Drake nationality, and then it was Izzy FBA, and then we heard Kyrie Irving, right? And then Revenue heard that. And by the way, I didn't know that Revenue stole that from somebody else. I thought he was the first person to ask that question until yesterday. I played a video with somebody else. Okay, so I should have known he just steal people's stuff. He don't have no real innovative thoughts. Like he's not creative like that. Okay, so let's get into it now. Let's start with this. Okay, so using the link is there. The link and phone number is there for anybody to hop on. It's now open line. Anybody can hop on or call in and give your opinion on Drake. Is he FBA or not? Also give your opinion if you want. The link is pinned to the top, and you can give your opinion on the Liberians. Should they be qualified for reparations from the United States government? Okay, so let's start with first things first. Using the standards of Adolf, Yvette Carnell, and Tone Talks, and using the standards of Tariq's, let's just use Tariq, right? His website. Okay, so Adolf's, just real quick, real briefly, founded by Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, defines an Adolf's person as someone descended from at least one person enslaved in the United States prior to 1865, someone who has traceable lineage to U.S. chattel slavery, not just more recent Black immigrants, right? FBA, just a brief one, Black Americans who descend from the lineage of enslaved Africans in the United States. It's emphasized, Tariq Nasheed emphasized a little more than Yvette and Tone. He emphasized cultural lineage as well as genetic lineage. So again, Tariq emphasized cultural lineage as well as genetic lineage. Okay, so Adolf's just generically, it looks like Drake may have a shot. Not done still. It's a lot more research to read. On the surface, it looks like that. But FBA standards, it doesn't look like that. It looks like Drake is done because he has to have cultural lineage, right? So he's culturally Canadian. All right. So according to Tariq FBA website, it means FBA includes the specific Black American culture, music, foodways, politics, all those things that develop out of slavery and Reconstruction, Jim Crow, and all those things that happen here. See, so Tariq is a little more defined. He's a little more specific so far on the surface. So right now, Tariq would be excluding Drake just off that. It looks like there's a window of opportunity for Adolf, but not so fast. Got some more reading. Right? So Adolf and SBA both exclude, right? First generation immigrants from Africa, the Caribbean, Canada. So Adolf excludes people from Canada, the Caribbean, and Africa. So does FBA from Tariq's website. Yeah, they both exclude people whose black ancestry is entirely outside the U.S. Uh-oh, so it looks like ADOS is excluding Drake. People whose black ancestry is entirely outside the U.S., e.g., Jamaican, Nigerian, Ghanaian, Canadian, okay? Unless one parent's lineage traces to U.S. slavery. So that's when people throw the dad in there. Got it. Got it. I get it. We're working it out now. Drake, Aubrey Drake Graham. His father, Dennis Graham, African, he's from Memphis, Tennessee, right? He's FBA. Hold on, just make that correction. But so far, it's a great area of ADOS, but FBA is saying hell no. Okay, cool. So Memphis, Tennessee, right? His mother, Sandy Graham, white, Jewish Canadian, Ashkenazi. That tells you all that about her. And yes, the way Jews do it, from what I heard and sort of know, is that they have a matriarch, right? But no problem, no problem. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Okay, so father's side, so far, it looks like he qualifies. Descendant of U.S. enslaved people, mother's side does not qualify. Okay, now, ADOS and FBA, we have been clear, or more recent, we have been clear that a biracial person can be ADOS FBA if at least one parent's lineage comes from U.S. slavery. So that's where Kwame is like holding on to revenue and other people. Okay, but now, there is obviously, look at the chat, there is debate around cultural participation. Some of us argue you must also have been socialized as part of the Black American experience in the U.S. Growing up in Black American neighborhoods, schools, culture, etc. That will exclude Drake because Drake grew up primarily in Toronto, Canada, in a largely white Jewish household, and he, like people know, he will visit Memphis occasionally. Okay, so now this creates a gray area, right? This is where they like to play. This is where tethers play. Tethers play in the gray area, and this is where they do the gotcha stuff in the gray area. Because genetically, he meets the ADOS FBA requirement through his father, right? But culturally, we argue, some of us argue, that he did not grow up with FBA lived experience, segregation, era, all that era legacy, okay, American schooling, et cetera, right? Now, Drake, I don't know where Revenue got his information, but Drake is not a U.S. citizen by birth, right? So you can never believe Revenue, Tether Dream, BSIA, all these guys on face value. Like that's why I say share your screen. And every time BSIA shared the screen, it was an image that he concocted. Like he just couldn't go. And I watched some of his videos last night, family. He knows how to share his screen. But with me, he pretended like he couldn't share his screen. And he didn't want to live search anything. He wanted to just show concoctions of cropped images that he formulated. That's disingenuous. What I do, family, you have to see what I do. I share my screen on Google and then I type it in and whatever it says, I read it. Okay. So Drake likely has Canadian citizenship by birth and that's his mom, right? Now, it's possible that he could have U.S. citizenship through his father, right? That's something to look into. But citizenship is not a requirement for FBA ADOS status. Lineage is, right? Now, the citizenship, again, everything is still out, right? We can still debate stuff. That don't mean because what we had yesterday, yes or no doesn't mean it's yes or no forever. Like we can debate something back into, to the fold. So, So the whole military parent thing, that's a little more easier to prove. Military bases outside another country, it doesn't count. It's a military base, so it depends. If a foreigner have a baby in a military base, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. Like, you will not be an American citizen on a U.S. base. That's not how that works. Okay, so by blood, the bloodline people say that phrase that I hate. Drake is part FBA Adolf through his father, right? But culture, I will argue, many will argue, he's diaspora adjacent because he grew up outside of the U.S. and did not experience the systemic issues that shaped us and made us who we are, made us the fighters and not fleers. Okay, so by citizenship, he is Canadian, but that does not negate lineage, obviously. Adolph's FBA is about ancestry, not passports, right? So Drake, it looks like, so far, based on this research, it looks like Drake would likely be considered half FBA, half Adolf paternally, but not fully embraced by us, because we're still debating because of his Canadian upbringing and limited cultural immersion in the Black American experience. So you see, family, so we are now adding and considering, and it looks like we're headed that way, that the lineage isn't enough. You have to be raised as one of us to you yourself be FBA. All right. So the link is out there. Anybody want to chime in so far? And put the phone number back in it. Hold on. Hold on. And don't be afraid to cash app unbiased Ron outside. Unbiased Ron. Or I gotta play the great song, the motivational hit song. It's a hit to get you guys to, you know, treat me to one of these tasty pastries here. All right. So let's go on. So now we're considering cultural eligibility. So it's so that's why I'm glad we have these conversations, because they bring up things we didn't consider. We thought it was just black and white, lineage, and that's it. But now we're looking at both a lineage and cultural eligibility standpoint. Okay. Now you have lineage versus lived experience. So I want y'all to try to remember some of these terminologies. Lineage versus lived experience. So both FBA, Tariq and Yvette emphasize two intertwined components. Lineage. So you must descend from people enslaved in the United States before 1865, right? Drake's father, Dennis Graham, almost certainly does. Therefore, by lineage only, Drake is part FBA Adolf through his paternal line. So the question is lineage enough today? It was yesterday, but today is it? Okay. So we seem to differ that lineage without lived experience is incomplete. Okay. So some of us, like myself, would definitely say being FBA Adolf is not just a matter of lineage. It's being socialized, culturally molded, and politically situated in the unique experience of Black Americans in the U.S. Jim Crow, redlining, mass incarceration, cultural expression, and systemic racism specific to the U.S. context. That's me, family. That's my position. So my position, it ain't just lineage. Lineage opens the door, it starts the conversation. You dig? But if you have not experienced, you yourself have not experienced Jim Crow, redlining, mass incarceration, cultural experience, stop and frisk, all the American things,
with the lineage. No, no. Drake, born and raised in Toronto, Canada, grew up primarily with his Jewish Canadian mother, only visited his father in Memphis occasionally, right? So obviously, with that being his life, he did not live the social or systemic reality of being black in America. And he did not grow up within the black American culture lineage, civil rights legacy, FBA neighborhood, schooling, etc. And matter of fact, I think the most important question is like, what does he? Because I think we got something called you gotta be black. You gotta be foundational Black American. If Drake is Canadian, how is he black? Like the only blacks are us. So that's something to think about. So culturally and politically, Drake does not meet the FBA ADOS lived experience standard. Okay, so are we clear? Culturally, nobody can deny this, right? You might not accept this as a means of eligibility, but this is a fact. Culturally and politically, he has not meet the FBA ADOS lived experience standard. Okay. So now let's talk about reparations eligibility. Before I do that, let me see if any questions in the chat. Okay, for nobody. I think everybody's kind of. Oh, let me close that poll and enter into the Drake poll. Salutations and peace, brother, unbiased Ron, and my FBA people's peace to you. So most of us say Liberians are out of a reparations claim. Hello. Okay, so let me go here. Let me okay. So here's the Drake poll. And just answer honestly. Like we want honest, we want an honest survey. Like if you believe what you believe, don't let nobody shake you off that. Yeah, this is the poll is anonymous anyway. We don't know who said what. Okay, so there you go. So that is the poll. Now, reparations for Drake. ADOS political framework, as defined by Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, specifies that reparations should be for U.S. citizens who descend from at least one enslaved ancestor in the United States and have endured the continuing legacy of that lineage in the U.S. If Drake remained, as he is, a Canadian citizen, he wouldn't qualify. He has to be a U.S. citizen. He wouldn't qualify even though his father is eligible. All right. Drake would have no personal claim since he didn't live that inherited oppression in America. So that's why I asked SLL yesterday, I'm like, yo, or I think it was SLL. No, it was the person before him. I said, if anything, if his father passed, he might be able to claim on behalf of his father. I don't believe he could claim himself. So Drake did not live the inherited oppression in America. So even though his father could claim eligibility, in my opinion, Drake can't because he did not inherit the eligibility without having been a citizen. Hold on, connection a little weak. Okay, let me repeat that. So even though his father could claim eligibility, Drake can't inherit that ineligibility of his dad without having been a citizen who lived under those conditions, right? So if we're talking private inheritance, not reparations, that's different. So we got to be careful of the analogies we make. Anyone can inherit from a parent.
but that has nothing to do with FBA Adolph's lineage framework. It's just estate law. So yes, Drake could inherit from Dennis Graham. Dennis Graham, he can inherit from his dad, but I don't believe he could inherit reparations eligibility if reparations were lineage and citizenship based, which we're trying to get it to. So so inherited means his dad would qualify, and if his dad dies, Drake would inherit what was due his eligible dad. But Drake himself, so he would inherit it. It wouldn't be like his name wouldn't be on a check. Like our names would be on the check. Drake would inherit from his dad. Anybody can inherit anything. Like for I can like collect a check and pass it down to like some Indian, you dig, and they will be inheriting my money. So anybody can inherit. So the link is the Zoom link is pinned to the top. The phone number is there. I'll be out of here about an hour and a half, so we don't have all day. If anybody wanted to chime in on this, give their thoughts. If not, I'm gonna keep cooking. Okay. Where are you? Where are So lineage. Lineage must have U.S. enslaved ancestors, right? Must descend from U.S. freedman lineage. Drake through his father, right? So Drake meets that through his dad. But when it comes to cultural, hold on, they got some noise in the background. Give me a second. I don't want to talk over that. Anyway, so through lineage, we all know Drake qualifies through his dad. But cultural lineage must have lived as a Black American, Adolph says, must share Black American culture identity. FBA says Drake doesn't make the cut. Citizenship. Adolph said you must be a U.S. citizen. FBA, we say the same. Drake's Canadian. Public identity, right? So that means that's why I said Black. Like, what does Drake call himself? He calls himself Canadian. So we call ourselves Adolph our entire life. You know, we check Black, right? So he doesn't identify as Adolph. He doesn't identify as FBA. He identifies as Canadian. So he fails the cultural lineage checkbox. He fails the citizenship checkbox. He fails public identity checkbox. He only passes the lineage checkbox. So with that being said, by Adolph standards, he will not qualify. By FBA standards, he will not qualify. Okay, so his father lineage, FBA Adolph, Memphis, Tennessee. Mother's lineage, Jewish Canadian. Nope. Birthplace, Toronto, Canada. Nope. Upbringing, Canadian. Not FBA culture. Nope. So what else? Citizenship, nope. Reparations eligibility, he lacks lineage. He lacks lived experience combo. Nope. Culture inclusion, limited participation in FBA social experiences, and is forced. It's forced. Kendrick Lamar pointed it out. Like, he forged friendships with FBAs in Atlanta, Memphis, all over the country. And that's why when it hit the fan, nobody stuck with him, basically. I say nobody, I don't mean absolutely zero. I mean, even he complained. Like, majority of people he thought he was cool with, they all backed away from him. He thought he was cool with LeBron James, LeBron backed away. He thought he was cool with DeMar Rosen, he backed away. So most of the people that he thought he was cool with, the Atlanta rappers, backed away from him. So most people, anybody from LA he thought he was cool with, that he was bragging about in his diss song, backed away from him. So
Most FBAs he thought he was cool. He thought he was cool with. They backed away from him. So because they understood like he forged the friendships through his celebrity, through his influence, and he was like more lit rapper. So people got with him to blow up. They didn't get with him for true friendship, like you see with 21 Savage and other folks in Atlanta. So Drake, just to wrap it up, Drake is the son of an FBA, but he's not FBA himself. He has FBA quote unquote bloodline, but not the FBA experience, citizenship, or identity that he needs to require that we require for him to qualify as part of us politically, socially, or for reparation purposes, right? So he drops the ball on all of those, right? What else we got over here? So it looks like we got some Drake groupies, some zesty Drake fans who are upset that we're clearing the record. And when people come late, we don't mind you coming late and being dumb. That's why in the latest in my motivational donate song, I ask, "Are you dumb?" Like I'm really one of those ones. Are you dumb? So I just said Drake. When I say Drake, it's not singular. It's S. I'm saying the Drake-like people. So no, we're not talking about Drake, just Drake. People who are in his position, either in Canada, the UK, Japan, and got a similar issue like Drake, they're out. So don't get mad at the standards. Don't get mad because we have standards, man. We got standards. But now that person could have called in. That person could have clicked the link and said what he said. Okay, so before I go further, yeah, so that person could have easily called in, clicked the link, all those things above. They decided not to. So I'm just checking time, make sure I got time to deal with the Liberians before run out of time. All right. So yeah, so Drake's out. Now, let's deal with the Liberians, right? Do they have a better shot at an reparations claim and FBA? All right. So this is just some background. Liberia was founded in the early 1800s. Okay. As you know, I'll talk about the ACS. I got hella videos breaking this down. So just go check those out. Right. The ACS, the United States under the sponsorship of the ACS stands for the American Colonization Society, ACS, an organization led by both abolitionists and white elites, slave owners, wanted to relocate freed blacks to Africa. All right, so they started this process in 1822. The ACS was established in 1816, but they didn't start their repatriation until 1822. Right. So all of the blacks that they repatriated, relocated to Liberia, they all were freed. None of them were enslaved or shouldn't have been enslaved. They all freed blacks. Now, the way they got their freedom, the ACS was largely responsible for most of these blacks' freedoms. They had sponsorship. They had, they basically paid. They bought their freedom to relocate them to Liberia, as they was known as Liberians. Right now, there was no real
plan to assimilate them with the natives already there. It was a garbage, disrespectful plan by the ACS. They just put them there. You know what I mean? Here you go. You stand right here. Right. So these folks didn't speak the language, didn't know the terrain, didn't really know how to hunt or eat. You know what I mean? They just left them out to die, basically. To eat it, to get it from the mud, like literally get it from the mud. So of course they had issues with the natives because natives were like, yo, who are these people? And the American Liberians like, yo, who are those people? You feel me? So it was not something that's genuine from these abolitionists or these slave owners. It was nothing like sincere. They just want them out of the country because it was 300. It was like 300 to 500 total freed blacks at that time, and they was only able to get about 12,000 of those 300 to 500,000 free blacks to Liberia. So their mission failed. They were trying to get 300 to 500,000, or all of their free blacks, hundreds of thousands of them, to Liberia. They got a fraction over there. So the mission really failed. And then right after that, so that's 1822. They kept trying. And then before you know it, the Civil War popped off, and that shut that down. Right.
Easy.
Okay. So similar to Drake, lineage wise, being a descendant of enslaved African blacks before 1865. Hold on. Okay. So descendant of enslaved blacks in the U.S. before 1865. The American Liberians, right. They were directly descended from U.S. slaves. But okay, now, so the American Liberians, they were placed there, so obviously they come from descendant slaves. But the natives that's in Liberia, they were already in Liberia, right? So when we say, so family, just hear me out. So when we say Liberians, can they make a claim for reparations? The answer will probably be no, but we got to really have them be specific, like which Liberians, the natives or the American Liberians, because the natives don't have they're out from the door. Liberians have a case that we just gotta check out. So cultural experience. So the cultural experience must have lived through or inherited the systemic experience of U.S. Black life, Jim Crow, Reconstruction, segregation, etc. So when it comes to the American Liberians, it's kind of partial because the early ones did sort of like they were actual slaves. But however, they're descendants. So you feel me? So it gets kind of tricky. So the Liberians is kind of like in the Drake position and Drake father position meshed in one. Because they were actually enslaved. Okay, but their descendants were not. Their descendants were not, and the descendants history started in Liberia. So like Drake, they don't have the American cultural lineage experience. But the actual Liberians who were relocated, the actual American Liberians who were free blacks who were located from America to Liberia, 12,000, those guys were definitely enslaved people, right? Now, here's where it gets tricky. Citizenship and political identity. Don't forget, you must be a U.S. citizen or descendant integrated into U.S. society. No, American Liberians and also the other natives that's there, obviously both of them were not citizens of the United States. They got repatriated before the Civil War, so before 14th Amendment. So those guys were not U.S. citizens. Now, family, check this out. It could be argued that they can't get reparations because even though they were serving slavery, right? Free labor, it could be argued, I'm not saying it's my argument, but it could be argued that they were relieved because they were literally freed and relocated to Liberia. So that means that they skipped the KKK, all that, and all that. They skipped the Civil War, so they skipped like the building part, like the war, being terrorized by the Klan. So like they were kind of relieved. 1800s, yeah. So like they were spared 200 years that we had to endure. Because you could look at it like that. Like they were relieved of 200 years of terror when we were not. Like we had to go through those things in America: Jim Crow, racism, systemic racism, then again mass incarceration. All the way down to now. So they never experienced that, and then they weren't citizens, and they didn't fight in the war. They didn't fight for citizenship. So therefore, they, what I mean. So it can go that way. So modern context. Participation in U.S. lineage-based struggle, obviously, no. So geographically and politically, they're separate from us. All right. Let's see, where we at? Family. Okay. Now, let's compare them with Drake. So let's compare the Liberians with Drake. So ancestry-wise, Drake is part FBA through his father. Liberians were 100% FBA, sort of, because they were U.S.-born settlers and they were actually enslaved. Drake's birthplace, Canada. Liberians, Liberia. Culture experience, Drake, Canadian upbringing, not FBA lived experience. Liberians, African upbringing, not current FBA lived experiences. Citizenship, Drake, Canadian, Liberians, Liberian. Reparations eligibility, Adolph's FBA standard. Because of that, both would be ineligible. Ineligible, both. Okay. So both Drake and modern Liberians shared a lineage connection sort of to FBA ancestors, right? But not the cultural or political continuity within the U.S. system that defines being FBA Adolf today. So American Liberians, so you can't just say Liberians when you come to them, you can't, because that means the natives too. So when people say, hey, can Liberians claim a reparations, make a reparations claim, you got to correct them and say, well, no. They got to specify American Liberians, because the natives never been over here. They never were relocated. All right. So the American Liberians, they spoke English, they practiced Christianity, because they took that with them. They thought they were going to civilize the natives with it. They built an American style government over there, right? They did not see themselves as African when they got there. So those are some arguments that they'll come up with. But over generations, so here's the problem, family, with them. The ethnogenesis. Over generations, they intermarried with indigenous Liberians, and their connection to U.S. Black life faded. Right? So modern American Liberians are lineally connected to FBA, our ancestors, but culturally disconnected from the modern FBA Adolf's lived experience. And they're not considered FBA Adolfs under movement definitions, since they don't live or participate in our American lineage experience. So Liberians, even the American Liberian descendants, all right, they would not be considered FBA Adolfs today, therefore no reparations, because their ancestors left the U.S. before emancipation or Reconstruction. They did not continue to experience the systemic and cultural realities that define FBA Adolf's life in the United States. Their citizenship and political identity belong to another nation. So, however, historically, the founders of Liberia were when they sought independence, right? The ones that sought independence, they were of the lineage. They were part of the same enslaved and free Black population that FBA those movements traced our ancestry to. So they had like a stronger fight than a Drake, but nope, nope. Research is showing no. So when you look at the ACS story, the ACS pressured some of them, misled them, incentivized them to go to Liberia. And that part was messed up. So many of them, it's true, many of them never wanted to leave America. It's again only 12,000 family. Many of them never wanted to leave America. They just simply what we wanted. They wanted equal rights, land, and citizenship in this country that we helped build through enslaved labor. But white elites, including slave owners and abolitionists, saw their departure as a solution to America's racial problem. They didn't want to see 300 to 500,000 free blacks gain citizenship in this country, and they kind of knew it was going that way. Like they could see, they could sense a civil war brewing because they were seceding. Okay, so Maxwell Jenkins, super chat, Lenny's love in the building. He said Liberians, Sierra Leoneans, Nova Scotians accepted reparations for their reparations. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. He said repatriation. He said I said the same thing twice. He said they accepted repatriation for the reparation, and that's kind of my conclusion. It's like, well, you were relieved of 200 years of terror with this white supremacist regime. So I agree with Maxwell Jenkins. Like that's just the final verdict for me. Like repatriation, unfortunately, over reparations. Right? They didn't face the KKK. They didn't face Jim Crow, all these hardships we face today and still facing the crack epidemic. Like, let's just be real. They didn't face mass incarceration. They didn't face knee on the neck, like all these like brutal images that we had to like endure surface, throughout the country, throughout the world. Like for the most part, they control their own image. So thank you, Maxwell Jenkins, for the super chat. Lineage love. I agree with that. First, always. All right, so let's do a lineage roll call. Who's in the building? It's the Grand Rising morning today. We got Black Feather Archery. We got Fresh Always. We got Ricardo Flott, Maxwell Jenkins. It's a light day today. We got Kimberly Dooley, Golden Brown, Moon Duck. Maximus got his link in there for his clothing apparel. We got V. We got Majestic. We got Ricardo Flott. We have some trolls in here earlier that we got rid of. We got Don P914. We got MD Williams. We got Jason in the building. We got JBZ in the building. We got who else? Baker Boy 3. FBA Judah. JJ Mars, Carlos Magus. Did I skip anybody? We got Yolanda in the building, John Roy, Israelite 1865, W. Williams. I'm going kind of fast, so I might skip. Okay, so that's all I've seen so far. All right, let's go back up. Still tripping, maneuver. Yeah, so So probably when I come back live, I'm gonna try to get old boy because it's gonna be a little longer. So I'm gonna get old boy, the BSI guy that called in yesterday, BSIA guy who doesn't listen, comprehension, like is really like struggling. Try to get him back on here around when I come back live, around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And we're gonna deal with this black thing. So he called in yesterday and said, we're not black. And he said, we are black, we're not American. So he's saying we can't have our cake and eat it too. He said we can't be black and American at the same time. We got to pick and choose. He said, if we are American, then we're not black. If we're black, then we're not American. So he's saying, so foundation black American is a contradictory term. And we sparred yesterday, well, actually, yeah, we sparred a little bit. I slapped him up, you know, not too bad, but slapped him up a little bit, educate him a lot, show that his sources were bad. Like just like his sources are bad. Like he had horrible sources that they didn't check out. He showed a source of somebody doing a video quoting British abolitionists, and the person who was quoting the British abolitionists had revised history. Like he made. I mean, family, it's 2025. Like, what are we doing? Like, you're not going to fake documents, okay? Today, you're not going to do it. Like, we could find the real documents so fast. Like, so you're not going to fake documents today, man. I don't know why people try. It's not going to happen. So he is doing what I said he was doing. He has an issue with the word black because I believe he's a former Moor. He comes from those spaces where it was a shame to be black. They believe black means dead and all type of goofy stuff, and they rather be a free white person. So a lot of the Moors back in the day would say you're not black because black means dead, but then they'll say you're a free white person. And so the BSIA guys today, like their little cults, instead of saying free white persons in 2025, they know that's not going to fly. So they just say, hey, you're not black, you're just American. Now, but that don't work either because we know when you say you're American by definition, even he pulled it up. Forget about 1828. This is how it's defined in 2025. So American by definition points to a person of European descent who were born in America. So what I'm saying, family, to just say you're plainly American, you're basically saying you're a free white person all over again. Just more coded. Just more coded. So hopefully I could fish him out of his cave to pop up and defend his position later today. But it's going to be hard to deal with him because he does not like to listen. He likes to just talk over you, talk over you, talk over you. He does not like to listen. So it's going to be kind of hard to deal with all that. And if y'all want a quick sample, just tune into the live yesterday. No, was it last night or yesterday? I forgot. I forgot when it was. Family, when did he call in? Was it afternoon or late evening? Read some of the chat. He said, I am six said, love the discussion last night. Ron, oh, thanks, man. Oh, yeah, it was last night because I forgot SWLE44 called in. So it was last night. And like I said, I don't mind like a challenge. I don't think everybody who challenge the lineage is always like a bad thing. I think sometimes we need to iron out more wrinkles because again, the whole ideology of FBA ADOS is new. The whole ideology of bringing back freedmen to the forefront is new. So families, we got to work out a lot of things. The Tea Party didn't get shit right from the door. They had chaos, they had confusion, they had fights. They had same thing we're doing. Like how we start off with ADOS and FBA inside fighting. Family, most grassroots organizations experience the same stuff. And it takes a while for all of them to get it right and then move as one.
So, but like tethers and white supremacists, like they want to pretend like we got to get it right and move as one from the beginning. So everybody must agree. Everybody must say the same thing. Like, no, like we are a growing thought. You dig? And we are working things out every year. We're getting sharper and sharper and sharper. For example, we start off by saying lineage based and one parent. Now we're saying, wait a minute, lineage based, one parent, and live the foundational Black American experience. You feel me? So we're adding to. We're like, yeah, that lineage based and one parent. Now that's not cutting it. Like we thought it filtered out, the tethers, but it didn't, because the Drakes of the world could try to sneak in. It's like, oh, no, let's close that window. Let's close that window. So lineage based, one parent of the lineage, and you have to live the FBA experience, and you have to always been a U.S. citizen. Yeah, so we got the right to. Why we can't sharpen our stance, our requirements. No, we got the right. But who said we can't do that? A tether? Like, come on, stop. They getting paid to like stop us. So we gonna listen to a tether. Like, yo, y'all on Putin's payroll with Ibrahim Traore. We can't trust you guys. Yeah, Paul, game tether's going tether. Okay, well, last night. Yes, I be busy and active, man. I be active online, active chat with the family. I knew it was yesterday. I just couldn't remember which live it was. Okay. Yeah, so if you look at the thumbnail, you see this guy in blackface. Like when you do stuff like that, when I first seen those pictures, um, that was the biggest red flag that he was getting paid to troll. He was getting paid to undermine and sabotage. And I'm so glad that Kendrick Lamar had exercised the demons out of me, because I used to listen to Drake, like becoming a Drake fan, and stuff like this was like making me like feel funny. But for me, it was that before Kendrick Lamar even did him dirty, it was that Drake, it was that Funk Flex freestyle when he was rapping, and then Funk Flex was like, yo, you did, I forgot what he said, but Drake was like, yeah, I did it, right? Like when he said, I'm like, oh my God, he's cosplaying. Like he threw all these rap hard hood bars. But then when Funk Flex gave him a compliment, he was like, I know, right? Like he sounded like a straight up suburban kid, white boy who's been cosplaying the whole time. So when I heard that freestyle, because again, like the freestyle was old, and I never, you know what I mean? So as I'm becoming a fan of Drake, I caught the freestyle late. Like, it not things like resubmerge. So when it popped back up, I was like, oh shit. Hey, somebody called in, call back in. Hey, you only got an hour, if that. So call in, family, and also family, support the live, like the video, and super chat, cash app, or as well. You know what I mean? Like let's really try to bring it home. Let's support. Let's get the same support that you guys would do a tether who's undermining us, like a Kai Sinat, the academics, those type of people. 252, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
I'm barely. Hold on.
Hold
1
on.
second. 1 second. Let me just change the name. You change the name to caller one.
Yeah. Don P. I'm calling. I was in the chat earlier.
Okay, got it. I hear you better now.
You hear me better? All right, cool. I just want to say, man, I went on the chat saying that Drake was FBA.
Yeah.
But you know what? So Maxwell Jenkins, shout out to him in the chat. He changed my mind on that because he said something that was logical. And the logical thing is, you know, if you can be deported, then you simply just not FBA, right? You know what I mean? So like that alone right there shut anything I had in mind down. So it's like, all right, cool. Anything else I say after that would just be trolling at this point. So shout out to Maxwell Jenkins. You know what I mean? He did his thing. I guess the reason why I gave a little pushback is because I do have concerns with some of us who identify as FBA, who's in this movement, right? And the concerns is I feel like sometimes we move the goalposts on certain terms that's defined already because of how we feel. And I know we're not a monolith. Like, I'm going to make that clear. We're not a monolith. But if this is, in fact, a movement, we have to at least be on the same page about the core subjects. Agree? Disagree?
I agree with that, but Don P, what I'm saying is that we're normal like anybody else, like any other political movement, any other movement. Period. Like we have the right to okay. So, for example, citizenship is now being 14th Amendment birthright citizenship right now is being reinterpreted because they like, you know what, the framers didn't have in mind what we have today. So what I'm saying is when we define something, right? Well, look at black. Who would have ever known that black would no longer be exclusive? It would be inclusive to anybody who claims African, descent. Right. But when we first came with black in this country, it was just exclusively for people of the lineage. And then it opened the door, somehow opened the door for anybody of African descent to say, hey, I'm black too. And now everybody's black. Right. So sometimes it's okay to go back to something and say, hey, how can I tighten this up? How can I keep this where that won't keep happening? So you're right. Some of us have feelings and they might move a goalpost for feelings, but you got to have faith in us though. We're smart enough to come to each other, like you just called in. We're smart enough to like look at those things. Okay, look at this goalpost. Hey Ron, play this video. Look, so this person just hates. Like this person is moving off hate. Like, and we don't hate. We're not supposed to hate nobody. We just stand on business, right? It's not hate or love. It's just business. Yeah, but some people are moving off on hate, and they got to be exposed. Like, no, you're moving the goalposts because you actually hate certain people, and that's not what we're doing. Like we're tight. We're not moving goalposts. We're supposed to be tightening the goalpost so it doesn't move, but also it's not too wide either. It's going to be the right parameters for the field goal, right? The kick to go in. It's not gonna be too wide, too tall, too short. It's gonna be right. And right now, we're working on the correct language because of the Drakes that can be deported, but sneak in. Like you said, like how can a guy be considered FBA who can get deported? Like that kind of kills our stance. Like, hey, with the whole ICE thing, we're like, hey, that don't bother us because we can't get deported. But now we can. It's like, you know what I mean? It kind of caused a lot of confusion. Like, wait a minute, he's FBA, he got deported. So it's like, oh shit, somebody did get deported with the FBA. Yeah, so the language, nothing wrong with tightening the language, but we got to make sure we're doing it for the right reasons. We're not doing it because we hate somebody or somebody lost a debate. So, oh man, the hell with that Haitian. I'm gonna move a goalpost just for Haitians. No, like keep it tight, gatekeep, get the language correct, but it got to be sound minded. And believe me, man, like those people will be exposed. Like those people that you're talking about, like even the guy yesterday, the UNIBSA, where like he's FBA supposedly, but he's being exposed. And I'm gonna do a better. I'm gonna really cook him.
Hold on, say that again. What was his name?
He calls himself Mr. USA. It's like IBSIA.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. They had blocked him. He's an agent. He's an agent of chaos.
Yeah, he had called in last night, and he didn't do well. Like because he got like a whole bunch of videos, and he didn't do well last night. But that was his gotcha moment. Like the best somebody ever gonna do with me is the first time we talk about something I'm unaware of. So what I did was I took time last night, lost sleep to watch. That's what I'm saying, family. Don't be shy to support financially because I literally lost sleep to like watch over his videos to understand what he's saying and then get him. So I got his argument with Black. He's done. Black, how we can't be Black and American at the same time. You got to pick one or the other. Again, he doesn't understand the grammar rule, the syntax, the grammars, and I'm a thoroughly expose him if he calls in today. And if he doesn't, I'm just going to do a reaction of his videos, right? And show how he's wrong almost everything he said.
You know what? You pivoted to you segue into another point that I wanted to make. But since you did, yeah, there's some people like himself and others. A lot of people that was in his chat. They be on the same chats with Afro Elite, Tariq Nishi. They was talking greasy about FBA. But when you see them on the chat, they be like, yeah, you know, FBA all day, woo woo. And I'm like, all right, yo, we got some, you know, players in the mix who's not really with it. And you're right, they do need to be exposed. It's a lot of people who just have like this jealousy of Tariq. A lot of them just have this jealousy towards Tariq. So, and by contrast, they don't want to be associated with FBA, which is fun. It's
right.
You know what I mean? But just to like go on one chat and act like you down with us, and then the next day you go into another chat talking greasy.
I don't see it like that.
Yeah.
I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that. I believe they are with us as far as we're the same lineage. I think they just disagree on what we call the lineage.
Yeah, like some of them have issue with the term Black.
Right. And guess what? Guess what? That's okay. Yeah. Like that's not a bad thing because that's up for a debate. That's up to put it on the table and that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to put like that's what politicians do with bills. Like they put it on the table. Yeah. And right. Yeah. So I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind them having an issue with Black and then they give their reasons, right? Like he did yesterday. Like it's unfortunate that his reasons were not even like legitimate. So that's what I'm trying to show him, but he's not listening. It's okay because I'm gonna speak past him. So anybody who agrees with him, I'm speaking to them now because he's not gonna listen. Like he's sold on Black, fine. So I'm gonna use him to educate the people who believe in him. Like I'm gonna show that how his research is heavily flawed. It's garbage research. It's trash. It's trash can research. So now, if you want to believe this afterwards, then it's because you want to believe it. You know it's not true. You know, you just want to believe it.
And I agree with you. Like, you know, everything is up for debate. I guess my only issue with that type of crowd who don't like the term Black, it's not enough that you want to identify as something other than Black. That's cool. You know, do your thing, do you. But my thing is don't try to force it upon us or get hostile whenever we say something otherwise. You know what I mean? If I'm having a conversation with you and I'm referring to us as Black, don't stop the conversation and be like, I don't like that term Black. We got to say something else. Like at that point, you time wasting.
Yeah, but you also got to be a solution to this, right? So if that's their stumbling block, and that's why over here I already understood that some people, even the freedmen people, going to beef with us. Oh, black. You know what I mean? And if you push them hard enough, some ADOS people will. And then, but guess what? That's what's going to happen. So, but if you want to like genuinely reach that person, and you know Black is a stumbling block, then what I would do, I would just say the lineage. You did. If that's your stumbling block where I can't reach you, then cool. I would reserve that for just this conversation only. And I'll just say the lineage. And that's why I said the lineage early on as I was live. I said, hey, man, we can call it many different things, but we're all attempting to call it something, right? So, and those names are kind of like low key dividing. So that's why I came up with just the lineage, because the name you're calling it is fine. And that name could change. That name could be debunked. It could be, you know, debated. But what cannot be debated is the lineage.
Okay. Yeah, I could get with that. I could get that. You're taking like a practical, pragmatic approach to it. You know, I get it. Yeah. I get it. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, that's why I called up to say, man, shout outs to the chat for correcting me with the whole Drake situation. I appreciate that. You know, each one teach one. Shout outs to you for just being on code and speaking on subjects that matters. You know what I mean? I feel you. Like a lot of us has to be on that because the leader is the code, right? And you can execute a person, but you can't execute a code. So that's what it is. Okay. So shout out to y'all and peace, man. Peace and love, B.
Yes, sir. Peace and love, man. Yeah. So I call myself Foundation Black American. I call myself ADOS. I call myself Freedman, and I would even use Solon. I don't mind. And just those. I'm not gonna call myself just American, right? That ain't gonna happen. Or foundational African American. That ain't gonna happen. And shout out to Khalid Cannabis with the I said his name wrong. Khalid. How did he say your last name? Shout out to, let me get the last name right. Combliss. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but you know what I mean. Shout out to you for the super chat. The lineage love $99. You sent it twice, so that's you did like $4. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, so I look. Even Tariq Nasheed said, "Hey, people are going to come up with names for the lineage all the time," and he said that's not really a bad thing because when you do that, then people can't poison the lineage by condemning one of those names. So, like, people are trying to say FBA is a cult or a hate group, and then I ask them, "What about ADOS?" You say, "Well, yeah, that too." Okay, well, what about Solon? Well, I never heard of that. Okay, well, I'm Solon. Okay, so I'm not part of a hate group. I'm Solon. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever name you want to associate as something dumb, then I'm going to associate myself with the other name that we call ourselves that that we embrace, like Freedman. What about Freedman? Is that a cult? Nah, okay, Freedman. You see, because I'm gonna get past your stumbling block. So because what I'm gonna do, family, I'm gonna force people to give up their real agenda. So, calling myself black is stopping us from talking and working out kinks and okay, cool. Well, the lineage for Freedman. Okay, now what? Oh, see, I don't like that either. Oh, okay. So now like we know you're just one of those troll farm agents because it's not what I call myself. Because okay, fine. I'm gonna leave black alone. I'm Freedman. I'm ADOS. I'm so long. Ain't no black there. Now what? And they're still trying to pick a fight. Oh, got it. So you one of them agents. You see? So that's my thing. My thing is, okay, cool. I'm a solutionist. All right, cool. That's your stumbling block. I ain't gonna say it for this conversation. This conversation only. I'm Freedman. Now what? Then just call their bluff. See what happens from there. See if the conversation can go from there. If they keep trying to argue, it's never about the black. This person just an agent, and they don't want to see us win. And like Don P said, they hate Tariq Nasheed so much. By extension, they gotta hate FBA, and we're saying you're crazy. And we're inviting you on to have the conversation. So yesterday when he called in, it didn't evolve into a screaming match or disrespectful shouting thing. Nah, like we had a conversation, and I was just trying to learn his position because to me, I felt like he wasn't clear on his position. I felt like he was all over the place, and I felt like when I asked him questions to pinpoint his position, I felt like he was all over the place. So he would avoid certain questions because it was showing like, dude, you don't make any, you didn't really think this out the way you thought it out, but you didn't challenge it. So that's why Don P, like, I invite people to try out their weird thoughts here. Like it would make me the lab rat, debate me on these weird thoughts, and let's see if it stands the test, right, of scrutiny. So yeah, so I encourage anybody got a weird thought, call in. Just be respectful. Call in, and with your weird thought, you think we're not black and American at the same time. If you think Tether should be a part of what we're doing, if you believe whatever you believe that's against our main talking points, call in and let's test out just your theory, so to speak.
let's see if it stands up, because I know for a fact that most people are horrible researchers. So whatever you conclude and you call in, we're going to rip it to shreds. The same way Dan does, the same way Tariq Nasheed does, and you got many people out there, Dennis Sperling, that be cooking people, Jason Black, because you guys are confirmation bias researchers. You just research things that you believe agree with you, and you research things you believe debunks us. So I don't mind being a guinea pig. You're calling over here, try it out. But y'all always know that's the best you're gonna do is like the gotcha stuff. When I invite you back on, you already know you are a DEAD. You did. So I'm inviting Mr. USA back on. Let's see if you accept the challenge. I'm gonna get my son. I'll leave here at 1 o'clock or something close, you know. So don't call in now, Mr. USA. Call in when I get back into the diner. And what'll help me back in the diner is if I'm able to patronize the diner. You feel me? So that's why I encourage you guys, because the diner, you know, I'm live every day at the diner, every day. So every time, family, you see me live around, 9 a.m. to about 4 p.m., it's always at the diner. When I'm live in the evening, I'm never at a diner. I'm always home in the evening live. But during the day, I'm at the diner. And it costs a lot of money, as you may know. So if you guys can help out with pennies, dollars, nickels, and dimes, help me out. Right here. There you go. Khaled donated $1.99. That's good enough. But that was a super chat. This is the Cash App, right? So I'm saying super chats are great. Cash App also. So that's the Cash App handle. I'm saying for the diner, I'm saying for the diner expenses, Cash App. Any lineage love and just for the love of message, super chat. But anything that covered the diner, that should be solely Cash App. Okay, but that's a great point that Maxwell Jenkins said. He said, if you could be deported, how are you FBA? That is a great position. I wanted to say something else. It's a great bullet point. It's a great, I had a better word. It's coming to thought. That is a better, family, give me the right word. Because that is it. Can you be deported? Like before we even ask your lineage, can you be deported? Because you got first gen, second gen that can't be deported. They're not FBA, but they can't be deported either. So man, you could be deported. I don't know how the hell you got a shot. Because again, our bragging rights, our strongest claim is we can't be deported. So that whole ICE thing, good luck. Good luck. But interesting question. Interesting question. I mean, the Chantel talk, you never denied it to begin with. You got people, but yeah, y'all have y'all little. So your FBA manual is going to be immaculate. Ray said, yeah, because it's like, and that's why I love these questions that they're asking, because I'm gonna throw it in the PDF. The Drake FBA. I mean, it's gonna be a lengthy PDF. Sorry, but these are all things that need to be read, because these are gonna be your pushback when you stand on 10 with the lineage and you're boisterous. Your pushback is going to be what they're saying. Well, what about Drake? Well, what about black? You can't be black and American. Black is this and American is that. So it's the same thing. It's contradictory. This is what you're going to come across. So I would rather you have a PDF
accessible from your phone, computer, whatever, and you could just pull it up. Say that again. I can't be black and American at the same time. Why not? Oh, because they're both ethnonyms and it doesn't make any sense. Okay. Well, page from this PDF, page 155 says different. And there's a source here. This is correct research. No, there's no contradiction here because black is just the name of the lineage and America is my nationality and my citizenship. There's no contradiction. Okay, so now it's back to you. You got to explain how a nationality and citizenship is contradicting our name for the lineage. And that's what he wasn't ready for. When I asked him that question, he was like all over the place. Because we're not two countries. See, his main argument was, see, you can't be Irish and American because it's a contradictory. It's two countries. Okay, but black ain't a country. So that just went around your crazy argument. Yeah, but now he's definitely right. You can't be deported. So right, black feather archery. Right, he is a clown. That's why I want him back on. I want to thoroughly dismiss him. And I don't believe he's going to be. I don't believe he's going to challenge himself to come back. I think he's going to run and take the ass whooping he got yesterday and say, all right. Because the ass whooping I got yesterday, that ass whooping is an ass whooping, you could come back from. He got beat up, a little black eye. I ain't do him too dirty. I didn't kick him on the ground and that type of stuff. But if he calls in later today and I go live again, yeah, that's going to be a Crawford Canelo. That's going to be a Crawford Canelo. You did. So let me actually see. I'm going to read some of the chats. Yeah. H in the building. Chantel Talk in the building. Needle Swain snuck in here. I see you. But yeah, so I like to as you can see, you see revenue totally fled. And he's trying to solely just be on Tariq. That's why he changed his name. And what I gotta do, family, I gotta go find all of the conversations he came on with me and put revenue in the instead of Kwame, I gotta put revenue in the title, right? Because I want when people type his name in, I want people to see the ass kickings, right? Because he's trying to reinvent himself. Over here was Kwame getting beat up. And then he gonna run the Tariq Nasheed and call himself revenue. So the ass whoopings of Kwame don't follow him. No, not my clock. I'm gonna make sure those ass whoopings over here follow that name revenue. And whatever name he changed himself to after that, I'm gonna make sure I keep changing the name to follow the shame. I'm gonna keep changing the name to follow his shame. Shalom, Yashir Napash. Bantu Mandinka, I see you in the building. Yeah, so look at Tether Dream. Like I ruined his YouTube. I ruined his YouTube career. He came over here playing, challenging me, and he's done. He went live. Nobody go over there, by the way. He went live and had one person in attendance, and that one person was revenue. So I'm like, damn, bro, I did you dirty. Like I single-handedly embarrassed him. Took all of his credibility. I show he's a horrible researcher. I did the same with revenue. And now Mr. USA, I'm gonna end his YouTube career. And I'm saying I'm ended it by all these folks are supposedly great researchers. So all I do is expose their researchers piss poor. And you can't trust them. Wrong too often. Can't trust them. So that's what I do with these guys. I take away the credibility of research where you can't trust them. You got to always come behind them and fact check. You know, this is too tiring. I'm just not going to just be entertained by your channel any longer. That's all. That's what we're doing. Ray Ray said, whenever somebody starts parroting their talking points using two phones, using two phones. Yeah, that's crazy work. Kimberly Dooley says, when we've been black since I've been on this planet, and we're not changing that just because tethers want to claim it, they can kick rocks. Yeah. We are the only black people, and we repoed their blackness. They hijacked it a little while, and it was repoed with the FBA national anthem song that I made. We took it back, and it's been ours ever since. So we're not letting none of them say they're black. Where you from? And once they say where they're from, that's what they are. If they say they're from Jamaica, they're Jamaican. Right? We're not regarding them as black at all, or African American. You dig? You are Jamaican. You are from the country that your family has a lineage to. That's how I regard all of them. You're Nigerian. You're Nigerian American. I have no problem calling them Nigerian American, Jamaican American, none of that stuff. But they are that. They are that, and I'm not gonna let them escape that. So yeah, I don't. That's why when the other guy called in, Justice Linwood, whatever you want to call himself, um, I had cooked him on black. Like he thought he had one on me. Okay, so let me hit him up and tell him to come pull up. Yeah, so where I'm at now, I'm by myself. So I'm at a smaller diner. All I had was the coffee. Like I don't need a lot here. It's when I go to the bigger space, when I get my son at 1:30, that space is going to demand like, some purchases because it's bigger. And it's more right here. This is the hood. Where I'm going later is like more suburban, a lot of Chinese people in there, a lot of Chinese people in there. And I love when they sit next to me because I get to talk filthy because they don't give a damn about what we're talking about. Like they are the less nosiest people in America. But family, if you wanted to like argue on the phone or say some stuff that might take a tough stomach to like ingest because you saying some words that people are going to be sensitive, do it around. Don't say anything about them. Like don't make it about them, but say it around them. They won't give a damn. When I be cooking these tethers and whoever else, those tiny people be like, as long as you don't mention my name, I'm cool. All right. So, all right. So I'm at his channel. Okay. All right. Let me send him the official invite. And don't let y'all be trying to go warn him. Don't go tell him by Ronnie. He got something for you. He gonna cook you. No. Don't do that. He's a grown man and he has all the answers, Sway. So let him come over here and let him come over here and 10 toes. All right. So let me send him another challenge. Okay. Let's say I'm gonna say around let's say 3 p.m. Yeah. So I gave them in between 3 p.m. 4 p.m. All right. Yeah, I might come back here. I don't know. It's been quiet over here. But I gave them another invite. Kim Standing, peace to you. She said, if we are not FBA, why haven't the government from the countries we were stolen from demand their people release and free citizens to come back home? Will President Trump agree for release? Yeah, yeah. So that's not gonna happen because those people sold us, right? They believe they got the money's worth at the time, but they're jealous of what the Europeans did to us. They forced us to work for free and cheap and build a superpower. So now those African countries are like, hell no, man, let's get them back over here. You know, man, so they could build a superpower over here. So like that's the thing now, family. Like they realized like, damn, like they got the worst end of the trade. So now they're like, all right, let's get them back over here to build Africa for free. And that's why when they talk to us, it's always about investing in Africa or making Africa great. Family, when they talk to us, when Africans talk to us, it's all about how we can help make Africa great or greater. It's never about how to make FBAs greater in America. It's always about making Africa great. So like they are really sad that they got the worst end of that trade. They're known to sell their values, right? They're valuables. They're known to sell their valuables. They didn't see the value in us. They sold us. These Europeans seen the value in us, and we helped build the greatest country ever known to mankind, right? Now they want that back. Like shit, but they don't know how to sell us or buy us back. They don't know what pitch they can do to buy us back. Oh man, yo, come home. That ain't working. Oh man, we have dual citizenship and all this bag shit. That ain't working. So they're just trying to figure out how, oh, the white man stole you and sold you by himself. We didn't do that. So it's just denialism at this point. We were innocent. Come back home. And none of those pictures are working because we're delineating. So like the worst thing they could hear from our mouths was delineation. Because that like killed all their dreams of buying us back, not buying us back, but they broke, they can't buy us back. But that killed all their dreams of getting us back to build up Africa to a great whatever superpower, whatever country, Nigeria, whatever. That killed that hope to turn one of those third world African countries to a superpower. Like so that's why like they keep demanding us to come back over there. Taya Tay Carter says, facts, Ron. No one warned you that he was going to call in yesterday. The Moz that knew of him. Yeah, no, I don't mind. Like, I don't mind the gotcha. I don't mind. Like, cause I'm a genuine guy. Like when you're a genuine guy, you're not a liar. You don't mind people just pulling up and challenge you on the fly. Like I wouldn't even mind somebody challenge me in person. Like, hey man, I got this. Yeah, like I kind of like that, to be honest. You know, because I think a prepared Ron is no match. So the only way they could compete with me or challenge me is for me to be unprepared, and I accept that. 'Cause I think that's my only challenge is to be unprepared and just wing it. I don't got no problem with that. Like I don't know, it's the endorphins in my brain that just love like that type of challenge where I'm like handicapped and like you know a whole bunch of gotcha statements. Like something about me that just pulls out the best in me. It makes me like be rebirthed. So if I'm getting bored and feel like taking a break from the lies, I feel like I'm being underappreciated, whatever. Callings like that rebirth me.
Like, so now I got something to fight for and research for, and something to defend again. You see, so that calling definitely rebirthed me. It made me like, and then he's not a tether, so it's like even funner. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make an example out of you. And he's small, like he got a small channel, so I'm gonna neutralize this channel forever being great. Like I did Tether Dream. Like y'all might want to wait until you get a strong following before you come over here challenging me. Because I'm definitely going to discredit and debunk and cook on y'all. And I kill all dreams of your channel growing big. So I love when they come over here. So I can be the first one to do it. I want to be the first one to beat the dude. I want to be the first one to really get at Myron Gaines, like really, really crush him. So Tariq got him. He got him good. But I want to get him worse than that. Because he was saying snarky, because he was saying snarky stuff. I want to get Myron Gaines where he just silent, like kind of like how people call up here, where they go silent after a while. He's get quiet. That's how I want to get Myron Gaines. I want to shut him up where he's just silent with nothing to say. Well, so that's how I want Myron Gaines. But I keep saying like that won't happen without the attendance. Like for Myron Gaines, for me to be on Myron Gaines' watch list, like I need way more than 57 people live watching. That's why I don't even bother him. Because the first thing you're gonna do is, who are you? Who are you, bro? You know how you talk. Who are you, bro? You only got 57 live viewers. Yeah, so I ain't doing that. When I get to the 300, 400, 500 live viewers, that's when I start coming at the big dogs, like Myron, the so-called big dogs, with the large influences in the space, the Myron Gaines type people. Yeah, so that's when I would, feel like I could get his attention, because they're cloud chasers. Cloud chasers want to clout. They want to cloud chase, right, for something. So like in his mind, he's like, okay, what you bringing to the table? So if he wins, what is he taking from me? He like 57 live viewers now. That ain't enough. It's not like the risk is more than the reward. But if 400 or 500 people were here, yeah, he'll take that because he see that as money. It's 500 more people sending super chats and donating to his bullshit. But that is my goal. My goal is to get Myron Gaines. I said that months ago. He's still enemy number one to me, but I don't mind slaying tethers and weirdos, sharpening my sword on tethers and weirdos. I don't mind doing that in between time. So anyway, peace, SWE40. You're not late because I'm coming back live, like in between 3 to 4 p.m. It depends. It depends on some things. You feel me? Depends on things, but that is the goal. The goal for me is to come back live in between 3 to 4 p.m. today. And so look forward to that. Like, jot that down, because I am going to have the link out there, the phone number out there, because most likely I'm just going to wait for the weirdo Mr. USA to call back in. And if he doesn't call back in, then I'm just going to react to his videos that's saying we can't be black. Because he argues that we can't be black and American at the same time, but he argues against the word black, period. So I didn't know that. I thought he just was arguing we got to pick one. I didn't know his stance was he had an issue with the word black altogether. Like that's why he gives me like more vibes, like Moorish vibes, ex-Moorish vibes. So anyway, let me see. So super chat love from Ray. We got Carrie in the building. We got Napaj. Okay, we got $10 Napaj, $5 Eric, Ray. We got $2 super chat. Appreciate it, Carrie. I'm definitely gonna so just off that, I'm definitely gonna be 3-4 p.m. at the diner. You know, the lineage love is real. You guys know it's not free. It's expensive to be at these damn diners. And I say I'm always at a diner. Right? When I'm live in the day, I'm always at a diner. Always. I'm always live in a diner. I like it because it's better than a free public place. The free public place, I hit the thing. But I love the diner because it's you got to pay to be here, so it eliminates like the bums, you know, or like the homeless people, because those people are going to be at like a public place, if I go to the mall, everybody's going to be there. If I go to like a library, everybody's going to be there because it's free. But when you go to like expensive places, like diners, classy diners, you're going to have your me area to go live. So I appreciate that. I encourage other folks, you know, support the channel. Cash App, Unbiased Ron, and nothing too crazy out your pocket, nothing too crazy. Just enough to justify me in that damn diner. All right, here you go, family. And then so here you go, some motivation. Then I see you guys at 4 p.m.
We have to start supporting ourselves. We have to add value to our content and our voices.
Hey, haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they done. Cash App, $sign on by rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they dumb. Cash App, $sign on by rhyme. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they down. Cash App, $sign on by his rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they dumb. Cash App, $sign on by his rhyme. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash App, $sign on by his rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash App, $sign on by his rhyme. Please don't. Please support on it. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash App, $sign on by his rhyme. Cash App, $sign on by his rhyme. Cash App, $sign on by his rhyme. I'm really real one of them ones that they dumb. Thumbs up, subscribe, Cash App, $sign on by his rhyme.